Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Premodern Magic Online Matches. I'm Michael Hype. I'm joined by my friend Lester today, and I will be playing the Frantic Storm deck. I am on the play, and this hand, it has a little bit of card draw. Meditate is not really a card I can use until I'm comboing off. And I don't have really any of the mana engines. I guess Snap kind of produces mana, but I need a Helm or a Sapphire Medallion. I am going to keep this, but I do think this is on the lower end of things. So I'm not sure exactly what Lester is playing, but I did tell him what I was playing, so I think I wanted him to pick a deck that interacted fairly well with the Storm deck. Before we go too deep, I'd like to thank DojoTradeBots for making this video possible. If you guys have a chance, check them out on Magic Online for any shopping. And then they also have a storefront on TCG Player, Dojo Paper Trade Outlet. So give them a chance to support what I'm doing and support them as well. All right, we'll start things off. I'll just play the island. I'm not going to play the Lotus Petal. I usually am going to want to use that for a turn where I'm storming off. But I'm just going to look to try and set things up. Accumulate knowledge, and then that makes drawing a card like intuition a lot more powerful. All right, so we see an island from our opponent. All right. So typically, if you're playing the Storm deck against a deck with a lot of counter spells, you actually have a pretty good chance of saying, okay, I'm going to make this game go as long as I just cast that Accumulate Knowledge at the end of his turn, and I didn't. You have the chance of just kind of waiting and then setting things up, because Brain Freeze is actually pretty good at fighting through counter magic because of the Storm trigger. They're not really able to counter it. Plus, if the game goes long and they are drawing a bunch of cards, you don't need to Storm it for as much. So I'm pretty content with just playing lands and passing. Though drawing extra snaps are not very good when they don't have any targets. And mana is, there's like a certain point of like you only need so much mana to combo off. And without a card like Helm of Awakening or Sapphire Medallion, these cards are a lot less effective. We should have time to find them. Still really don't have much idea of what our opponent is playing. Island, and Impulse is not very telling, so. I wonder if this is just like the mirror. If he just picked a Storm deck as well. Well, trying a few more lands. Guess at this point I probably want to stop playing lands because of Frantic Search. 5 is probably enough, and then always just keeping another one in my hand that I can always play or discard. All right, I am going to pass the turn. This Accumulate Knowledge, if I were to play it right now, I guess I could play the land. Otherwise, I'd have to discard. I wonder if he has Accumulated Knowledge in his deck, but that's always an interesting tension when you're playing, because it counts in all graveyards, so there's kind of an incentive to kind of wait for your opponents to play the first few Accumulated Knowledges, because then yours get better. Okay. So now, even this, yeah, with the Merchant Scroll and the Frantic Search and Meditate, this would probably be pretty likely to be able to go off, but I'm guessing there's some form of counter magic. So the question here is, do I just want to lead with a Sapphire Medallion that's likely to get countered? I mean, I do have 6 other copies, or yes, 6 other copies of this card. I think there's 3 Helm Awakenings and 4 Sapphire Medallions. So it's not the worst thing in the world to get one gets countered. So I think I'll have time to find another, because I really don't have much idea of what Lester's doing over there. But yeah, counterspell here seems pretty likely. Okay. And then I'll play another land. So at this point, resolving a Sapphire Medallion or something like that is really good, but other than that, I just want to get a number of cards like Merchant Scroll or Brain Freeze in the deck. So just a note for everyone, there is not a Premodern bordered version of Merchant Scroll available on Magic Online. Okay, so Morphling is coming into play. So this is a snap target, but obviously if he's leaving a blue, then he'd be able to give it Shroud. So even with the 2 copies, he has 2 blue mana up. But this could give me an opportunity to kind of go off if he only has 1 counterspell. Okay, Intuition. So that's interesting. So, one thing, so a few things come to mind. If I were to Intuition for a card like 3 Helm of Awakenings or 3 Sapphire Medallions, though that is pretty expensive to try and do all in one turn. Let's see, I would have 7 mana, -3 for the Intuition, -2, then I'd have 2 mana up. Because I was thinking of maybe using like the first snap as bait. Because, I mean, I don't know how many counterspells he has for 1 mana. So if I just were to try and snap, I also have the option of casting a card like Merchant Scroll or Intuition. Then if he chooses to counter that, then I can snap the Morphling. I think I'm gonna do that. Question is, which one do I want to lead with? I'm gonna lead with the Merchant Scroll. And I think I just get Brain Freeze here. So here's a quick look at the deck if those are not familiar with it. I guess Cunning Wish is also an option. Accumulating Knowledge is not bad either. Drawing 3 cards. Maybe I just want cards. I kind of want to make him tap his mana on this turn. But I think he'll just let a card like Accumulated Knowledge resolve. So I guess I'm going to go with Brain Freeze. And this will give me kind of a hedge that if I don't try and go off at all. 1, 2, 3. I am going to cast this Intuition though. I should have played the island first. Okay, so what do we want to get here? I don't have the option to get 3 Accumulated Knowledges because already 2 of them are in the graveyard. So it would be interesting to kind of split it up. I'm going to go for the 3 Helm play. I guess maybe I should do Sapphire Medallion. Probably what I should have done. Since I don't want to make anything of his cheaper. All right. Yeah, so I'm not gonna go for anything this turn because it just won't counterspell. Would yeah, I mean, there's not really any way for me to get anywhere here. So now it's gonna be a lot trickier since he has 5 cards in hand and a million gazillion mana. So really, I just want more copies of Brain Freeze, I think. Stasis. Okay. All right, I think I will let that go. So we'll play this island, so I don't have to discard. So how long can I wait here? Because he's obviously going to have to pay for Stasis, and then if he wants to do any pressure, he can untap the Morphling. So I guess I want to try and get some of his mana down. And then a lot of times with the Stasis deck, it's almost beneficial for their opponents to cast spells. Cards like Daze or Thwart are counter spells that return islands. So I'm going to have him tap down more what I aim to do. I'm trying to wait out a little bit. Because again, like, the longer this game goes, the easier it is for me to have a lethal brain freeze. So until he's showing me something that I really need to react to, which would most likely be a Black Vice, I think I'm pretty content with waiting. And I see that he's not untapping and pressuring me with Morphling, so all right, I'll play this Lotus Petal. Like I don't think Storm is the biggest issue in this type of matchup. I have the time to get a bunch of Storm. I'm gonna have a bunch of cards. So it's just probably better to play out a Lotus Petal than tap a mana and cast something like Sleight of Hand. Alright, he's got 6 cards in hand and 4 mana untap. But again, I am just happy just to continue doing this. Really, I think what I want to draw more of is just more brain freezes. It just makes things a lot easier. I don't know if there's any Stifle lists that have Stifle in there, any Stasis lists that have Stifle in their main, but that would be the one card that really could throw me off, stifling a Storm trigger on a brain freeze. I mean, Meditate's kind of funny against the Stasis deck, I guess. I could Snap here. I'm gonna cast Snap. If he counters it, I guess I'm okay with that. Uses a counter and a card. If this does resolve, I'm very happy. I mean, he's probably just gonna pay 1 mana and give it Shroud. Oh, he's dazing. Okay, so here, this is just kind of a thing of he's returning an island. Do I want to pay? I don't think I really do. I guess. Yeah, I will. I mean, it makes him pay an extra mana too. He's giving Shroud. I have the option to go with another Snap. Then he'd be down to 1. He definitely has another island. All right, I'm gonna let this fizzle. Yeah, so I'm trying to figure out when's the moment to strike, because I guess, yeah, I do want to have mana up so that I can play my cards, so. Okay, he's got another island, we knew about that. All right, I'm going to discard one of these Meditates. Okay, so we'll see. I mean, there's also might just be like a Chain of Vapor at the end of one of his turns. The thing is, well, I guess I do have... Okay, so he's letting this one go. So what does he plan to do now? Now that I get to untap. He's discarding, so... Alright. I think this would be a spot where I'm going to try and resolve Helm of Awakening. I mean, it's almost assuredly that he has... I guess I'll start with Sleight of Hand. Unlikely that he counters this card, but he's probably has cards like Thwart or whatnot. Okay, now the Brain Freeze. This is great. Okay, so question is, how long do we need to wait? I mean, I could try and play a Helm of Awakening, which makes a lot of my cards better for future turns. Or I could just also wait. I guess he's going to attack with Morphling, so I am under a clock now that Stasis is not in play. So I'm going to try and commit a little bit. I'm not going to try and tap too much of my mana, because if he is able to counter some key spells, then I wouldn't have mana, and another Stasis could come down, and then I could be in trouble. All right, so I will. Okay, so if I cast all these spells this turn, I just cast. I already played 2. I could have cast 2 Brain Freezes for 8, so that'd be 24, 48 cards. And so if he's just not countering anything, that's probably enough. All right, so I'll start by snapping this. Amazing. With Shroud, I guess I will respond by meditating. I mean, maybe I should have just been like meditating first, and then I do have Cloud of Faeries in my deck, and that's a lot easier to snap than a Morphling. The Daze. Yeah, I'll pay for Daze. I think 1 mana for 4 cards is worth it. Alright, if we're at Storm 5. Okay, there's a foil. So this is targeting the Meditate. Okay, we'll let that resolve. So if I have 5 mana, I just need 2 to... I'm going to cast Frantic Search. Okay, Arcane Denial. And so now there's 8 spells. Okay. Now I'll just Brain Freeze him twice. Okay. So we'll just put all these copies targeting him. And this should be enough. All right, cool. I'll take a quick look at his list since he let us mill him out, so we'll take advantage. There is a misdirection, but that is not going to target. It's only going to change 1 Brave Freeze copy, so that's one thing to know. And there's a capsize. Other than that, everything seems pretty normal. I guess there's no Black Vice, so here we could see in the main that there's not much we had to worry about. Okay, we're back for game 2. We are playing a best of 5, so we didn't do any sideboarding for game 2. This hand is fine, and I guess, like, given that I saw his deck, I'm just not really worried. I mean, I guess Morphling is really the only threat, and I just need to find a couple of Brain Freezes, and then I can win that same way. I'm going to keep this. Basically, I just want land. I will cast Sleight of Hand. I will take a Brain Freeze over an... I do want both of those. I do want more lands, but Brain Freeze is very good. Okay, I wonder if there's like any merit just to like run out a Cloud of Fairies and clock him a little bit. I'm gonna wait for accumulating knowledge. I guess the reason is just like I'm like fighting out another angle that if he kind of has to react. I mean, obviously it's a very slow clock, but it's something to consider. Okay, so our ooh, don't like that. So Lotus Petal for Cloud of Fairies. I'm gonna play Cloud of Fairies. So he might be thinking that maybe we're just waiting to play land, but yeah, just don't have another land in my hand, so he might be thinking that this is kind of a trap, but yeah. Okay, so we don't have to discard. We've been dazed. But yeah, I'm just looking for a bunch of islands, I think, at this point. Because realistically, well, I guess I will run out the Sapphire Medallion. I'm pretty sure it's going to get countered, but I think basically what my game plan is going to be get to a point where I'm going to play multiple Lotus Petals in a turn and then Merchant Scroll for another Brain Freeze and then cast a Brain Freeze. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 right there. And so I'm just hoping to get more lands and then pepper in a few spells. And I'm assuming that he might have some counter spells on that stack as well that turn. So there's a daze. Okay. I guess that makes my Lotus Petals in my hand a little awkward, but I still think we're fine. I do want some more islands, I think is just really what I need. I don't need that Sapphire Medallion in play. Frantic Search. I'm going to cast this Helm of Awakening. It doesn't make like his spells that much better, because cards like Thwart or Gush or Daze where he's returning stuff don't matter, and because he saves a mana on things like Stasis and whatnot. All right, so he's gushing. Returning 2 lands is a cost before you have like the Stasis in play and you have this few of lands. So it might mean that he's short on counter magic, or not sure. All right, counter spell. Okay. I mean, one good thing is that I'm able to kind of play spells and get to untap my mana. Like he's not sticking a stasis here. All right. I think I'm just going to discard a snap. So I think the Lotus Petal for the Storm is more valuable than having like another snap that's probably not going to do anything. All right, I'll cast this Cloud of Faeries. I guess I could cycle it too. But I'm not too worried. I mean, I guess like the worst thing could happen is like he sticks a Morphling and has stasis, and then I'm under a clock. But even then, it's like if he's untapping his Morphling and paying for stasis, he's not gonna be able to pump mana into his Morphling. So all right, you get a Cloud of Fairies. Cool. All right, accumulated knowledge. I'll attack with my fairies. I could just cast a Merchant Scroll, or I could play a Lotus Petal, or I could cast accumulated knowledge, or I could discard. I'm gonna cast a Merchant Scroll. He definitely should counter this. I'm just gonna get Brain Freeze if this does resolve. It just makes storming off a lot easier. All right. Now I have to discard. I think I'm gonna discard Intuition. That oh, is he capsizing me? Oh, he's gushing. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. He's got 39 cards left in his deck right now. Alright, so I just want more land. Stasis, okay. Alright, good time to draw an island. That's good. Yeah, I'm pretty happy to wait things out here. I just not really gonna play a spell because of. Alright, I will play a Lotus Petal, I guess. But I don't want to play too many more of these. I do want those to kind of help pad my storm count on the turn I do go off. He's dazing here. Guess I will pay. I'm more interested in just having the mana at some point. Like, I'm not going to be able to go off really anytime soon. I think the Stasis is going to have to leave play, so I'm looking just to kind of deplete his resources. Right. Merchant Scroll, okay. I am going to discard Frantic Search. I guess maybe that was wrong. Maybe I should have discarded Merchant Scroll. Because I get to the point where I'm able to untap. Frantic Search is probably better because it's just another free spell. Well, Merchant Scroll costs 2 more, which if I don't have a bunch of mana, then it is pretty clunky. They're good. But yeah, I don't see that there's much that he can do given that what I've seen in his list. Matchup would be very different if there were Black Vices in his deck. It would make me have to fear a lot more. I think this matchup would be very different if his 75 or his 60 was different. Nice that I am drawing islands, so after missing for so many turns, it's nice to have it once the stasis is in play that I'm able to hit my land drops. Got 4 islands untapped, so might be. Oh, he's impulsing. All right, I mean, I don't know what he's looking for here. He's spending 2 mana. I mean, I guess like Gush picks up your lands, but other than that, you're almost spending 2 mana to get 1 more land. Cunning Wish. Don't think I need that one. But yeah, he has 33 cards left in his deck, so not like the storm needs to be that big. And I'm at 36, so it's kind of like I guess he might have like a Felden's Gain. Okay, so he has a way to sacrifice his stasis. Okay. He's still, I mean, like, I mean, he could like untap, play Morphling, and then stasis, but it's kind of like we're not in that different of a position, so. I guess maybe discarding the Cutting Wish if he did have a Felden's Cane or something. That would be awkward. Though, I mean, as it stands, like if he's not able to kill me, he would have to use Felden's Cane naturally, and then I would go off. I guess would be my plan if I saw him resolve a Felden's Cane that I didn't know about. So he's still keeping this in play. Got 10 cards in his hand. Okay. All right, another brain freeze. So if I just played 2 Lotus Petals and 3 brain freezes, it'd be for 5, 5, and 5. I think I'm gonna wait. I'm just gonna discard. I'll discard a Merchant Scroll. I'll just wait because I'll either get more land in play or he'll have less cards in his deck. So doesn't seem like a bad position to wait here. Right. Another Lotus Petal. 1, 2, 3, 6, 6, and 6. I'm still gonna wait. I'm gonna discard accumulated knowledge. Crazy. Closet Gixing. Okay. We sack the stasis. Do I want to go for something like accumulated knowledge right here? Not really, because I mean he's just gonna have foils or thwarts or whatnot anyways. I guess maybe I should have kept the accumulated knowledge because if he's not playing stasis at this end of turn, that is a good card to just cast at the end of his turn. So it might get me to the point where I guess I'd draw 3 cards or 2. I guess I'd still be ahead in library count. Island, nice. Okay, so we have 8 mana untapped. I'm gonna wait still. Like, I don't see the harm in waiting. Not attacking anymore. I might block with my Cloud of Faeries against the Morphling. The Gush. Another accumulated knowledge. Draw me 3 cards. I'm gonna discard this snap. Yep. I guess at the end of his turn, I'll cast accumulated knowledge. Having 5, 6. What was this? Oh, capsize. Hmm. Let's see here. If I were to cast snap, cast accumulated knowledge, cast 3 brain freezes. Storm would be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, that's probably good enough. Let's see. I guess let's see if the snap resolves. If it doesn't, then maybe I change my play. Okay, 2 land. Okay, so cast accumulated. If he's countering that, okay. Now I'll just cast all these brain freezes. All right. Oh, all right. And that will take down game 2. All right, we got sideboarding. So normally against the blue decks, we have defense grid. Chain of Vapor is a nice like catch-all. There might be like a card like Arcane Laboratory or something that is difficult to deal with. Also, Arcane Denial is a nice piece of interaction. Are there any cards that are poor? No cards are bad per se. I guess Meditate, we can probably shave. How good is this Cunning Wish? Don't think I actually really like it. It's just like if he cares about the card that I am getting, then he'll just counter that. There's not really like anything I can get that can't be countered. So defense grids. So I'm looking to bring in 6 cards. The hands are something that I could cut. Also maybe like part of this Snap Cloud of Faeries engine. I will cut. I don't. They're both. I don't know. As a Snap like has a little bit of value because of the Morphling that we had seen, but doesn't do anything at all on its own. So I guess maybe Cloud of Fairies is better than Snap. Maybe I don't really want many of either. This is 54, so this would be able to have us bring in. Also, one thing about Chain of Vapor is it kind of does an okay job of like a pseudo snap. Like if you have Cloud of Fairies, you can still target your own Cloud of Fairies with Chain of Vapor. And then you could sack a land and then target their problematic spell or permanent. Tormod's Crypt also has another card. I'm guessing he's got like Felden's Cane. And I mean, like a 0 mana costing card doesn't seem bad. I'm gonna take out another Meditate. Like, I have enough time to set up my hand that like Meditate doesn't seem that good, so. Okay, we're back for game 3. See if sideboarding makes a dynamic change in this matchup. This hand, I'm gonna keep it. I mean, I guess you can kind of keep whatever because you're just gonna have time to fill it out with whatever. So I might have a chance that I'm able to like sneak in a Helm of Awakening or a Sapphire Medallion. I don't know. Oh, Dan. Wow. So he's getting aggressive. All right. So it's a 4/1. Can't attack. Let's say I have an island. When he has no islands, he has to sack it. Okay. Guess I will try to. I might be getting dazed here, but you gotta do what you gotta do, I guess. It'll be foil as well. But yeah, a 4/1 is actual legitimate pressure. And now my Cloud of Fairies does seem a lot better. So I will be bringing the rest of those in. So we have a foil that's discarding a Mastercard and an island. So it seems like he's on a little bit of a different plan where he's kind of changed his position where he's not just a super slow stasis, like he's trying to make things work in different ways. So he's got a 4/1 in play, and that looks pretty good right now. He's only got 3 cards in hand, so I'm going to try and stick one of these Helm of Awakenings. Would not like this to get dazed. Okay, counterspell I guess I can deal with. 2 cards in his hand. Meanwhile, this lovely fish is doing some damage to us. We're down to 12, so we have 3 more turns. Accumulated knowledge. Yeah, I guess I'll cast this one. Hope to draw a land. Accumulated knowledge is okay. We'll just try to figure out if we have enough time to beat the fish. Okay, I'm going to cast an accumulated knowledge. Okay, that one resolves. Have an island. Okay, I'm going to discard an intuition. Could just be like capsizing me. All right. Yep, that seems reasonable. Discard 2 cards. I will discard intuition. And I think the other intuition. I don't think I will have time. Plus, like, I need a Lotus Petal or a Cloud of Faeries or a Snap. Or Chain of Vapor, I guess, is a reasonable card. I guess I need to Chain of Vapor first. Because I can't really just like cast Helm of Awakening. Alright, there's a counterspell there. Yeah, I don't have Snap or anything. Maybe I should have played Helm of Awakening as bait. But yep, alright, I am dead here. Okay, so given how that game went, we're going to change our game plan a little bit. I think both the Cloud of Fairies and the Snaps seem a little more appealing. I'm going to take out the Chain of Vapors. I didn't see anything. That doesn't necessarily mean there's nothing. And I'm going to take out these Sleight of Hands. So Cloud of Fairies can block a Dan, and then I also have the Snaps as well. So I think with those, I might have a little bit more time if he sneaks one of those into play. Okay, we are back for game 4. We get to be on the play. And yeah, this hand seems fine. A little bit of mana, a brain freeze, a little bit of card filtering, so I might want to be able to resolve the intuition first to get 3 accumulated knowledges so that this one is better. But that might depend if we draw a land on our second turn. Luster's mulligan to 6. So I wonder if he is just on a full, like, aggro controlled type deck, like if he's just taking out the stasis in this matchup. All right, Arcane Denial. I guess I will hold that up. Guess I would. Would I counter a Dan? Probably. I am gonna cycle this accumulated knowledge. Hurts me a little bit, but okay, got a merchant. Do hit an island, so that's good. How do I just run out this intuition? I will do it now. Pretty much has to have daze or foil or thwart one to work. Alright, so there's a daze, okay. Alright, that works. Not particularly afraid of anything in this position. Also, like him flying behind on land would be good, but I guess since I'm not like pulling further ahead, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so the question is here, do I need to merchant scroll for snap? I do have Arcane Denial, so like on a later turn if I want to do that, because I guess the benefit of waiting is if I draw Cloud of Faeries or Snap naturally, then I don't need to use my Merchant Scroll. I guess the other consideration is getting another Brain Freeze, but they do have Lotus Petal and Tormod's Crypt, but I think the Dan would kill me much quicker, so the question, yeah, so if I'm Merchant Scrolling for a Snap, or am I going to wait to do that a later turn? We don't know for sure if he has a third land, because he picked up because of days. So I think he had missed a land drop on one of the turns. No, he hasn't. Because it'll be his fourth turn and he'll be able to play his third land because of days. So I'm gonna Merchant Scroll for Snap. I'm not gonna Snap right now though. I'm gonna wait till I have Arcane Denial. So one thing might be interesting if I'm casting Snap and he's casting Counterspell, I have the option to Arcane Denial my own spell, and then I would draw 3. There's a little bit risky of a play, but it's something I could consider. I think I'm going to Snap at the end of his turn. Question is if he's fighting back with counter magic, if I want to Arcane Denial his spell or mine. Okay, let's Snap. I don't know if it's just trying to get too cute, but I feel like drawing 3 cards. Okay. That's good. Soon I might want to be saving lands. Maybe I probably wanted to be saving that land for something like Frantic Search, so here's a Dan. I'm gonna Arcane Denial. He's probably gonna counter back. He thought about it, then he untapped. Is he bluffing? Is he not sure if he wants to counter this? Because if I had more cards in hand, he might be a little bit afraid of me like going off, but I don't think he's very scared of that right now. I do get to draw an extra card, so that's good. If this resolves. Alright, looks like he's Arcane Denial targeting Dan. He's targeting his own spell. So he kind of did that same trick that I talked about for his own benefit. So mine's going to get countered. He's going to end up drawing 3 cards. But his Dan is countered. Alright, so he'll get some draw triggers. He's 5 in hand right now. I'm guessing he's going to draw the full 3. Yes. I have an intuition. I will play that right away. I mean, he probably has a thwart or days won't do it, but seems better to do this when he's tapped out. He probably has a foil or a thwart that he'd be willing to use. But he's thwarting, so that's not the worst. But I guess if he just untaps and plays an island and a Dan, then I'm almost in the same amount of trouble. Okay, yep, that's where we're at. Alright. What will I draw? An island and a Masticar. Alright, I have a Helm of Awakening. I guess I am going to try and stick this. I kind of wanted to save it for Storm, but also him not having mana up is kind of appealing. But I don't like my position in this game right now. He doesn't need that many counter spells to stop me from going off, so I guess I will wait one more turn and then go for it. I guess I could draw a Cloud of Faeries or a Snap that would change things. Wait, where are we at here? Going to 4. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna have to Frantic Search on my turn, and it's likely it's gonna get countered. So okay. Yeah, if he just counters this, then all right. 2 cards. Definitely one's an island. Um, Probably the Sapphire Medallion, though I could discard Tormod's Crypt, Island, play Sapphire Medallion for 1. No, I would say play Intuition for accumulated knowledge. Um, I probably just want to get Meditate instead. Maybe I wanted that Tormod's Crypt instead. Guess I'll cast Sapphire Medallion. I mean, if you could just counter this Merchant Scroll, I'm kind of dead in the water, so I guess if I Impulse, okay. He lets it resolve, then maybe I could get Brain Freeze. Don't think it's resolving though. Gosh. Okay. Hmm. He's got to have something, right? Wow. So if I have Lotus Petal 6 and Frame Freeze, should be able to do them both for 8. Yeah, I think he might have Stifle. But I paid blue. Oh, I guess I can't get it for the additional one, but I guess it doesn't work that way. I thought you could. I thought you could respond to the storm trigger, but I think this is still enough. As long as there's no Stifle, I think I'm okay. Or he doesn't have a Guy's Blessing in his sideboard. All right. Well, I think I got away with that one. I wasn't expecting to win that game, but what was it demonstrates the power of the blue storm deck. I guess like a lot of times you might think that the counterspell decks are good against the combo decks, but if they don't have any pressure, then you just have all the time in the world to set things up. For the first two games, there's just no pressure that he could provide, and I just have all the time to sculpt my hand and then brain freeze them out. These games were a lot more difficult after the sideboard with the clock and the counter magic make a big difference. Well, thanks everyone for watching, and if you like what I'm doing, give a like, leave a comment. You can suggest what kind of matchups you're looking for me to play in the future. If there's a specific deck you want me to play, or you just want to see in action, either from my side or from Lester's specifically, let us know. We'd appreciate it. Thanks.